So at 9 years old, I started acting out and breaking laws, and nobody understood why. And behind closed doors, I was being sexually abused by the man that adopted me. And it lasted from 9 to 13. Finally, at 13, I decided to run away from home. 17, I quit high school so I could have a baby, and I raised her. When Jericho was about 2 years old, I started experiencing methamphetamines because I had lost all my family due to the fact that I was with a colored man, and my daughter was removed from us because we both were on drugs. That put me in a whole whirlwind. I began shooting methamphetamines, and it was absolutely, I'm doing real bad at this. I'm not good at this. I started shooting methamphetamines, and it got totally out of control. About 2 years later, Troy and I, once again, got pregnant. And at 6 months, I was involved in a domestic violence situation and went into labor. And my son was born 1 pound 7 ounces. And from day 1 to day 14, he had several surgeries. Nothing would help, all the blood in his brain. And at 21 days, he passed away. And I gave up. I relapsed. I went home. The day they let me go home from the hospital, I went home and shot a needle full of dope. I think the worst moment of that was when at the time, my 5-year-old daughter looked up at me and said, "My brother's gone, isn't he, Mom?" That's probably the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And at times it plays over and over in my head as it hasn't even been 2 years yet. So that was probably the hardest. And what I just felt like, I thought, I'm done. I'll never overcome this. This is something I will never make it through. And they locked me up in Kalamazoo Psychiatric Hospital for 3 months. And as a mother, going from a son just passing away to being locked up, something had to change. I had to give up something. I came home to an empty house. My car was out the driveway, and both of my kids were gone. I then felt, well, I lost everything. There's no reason for me to stay in Michigan. And I ended up in Texarkana, and I met a man named Donald. We were living in and out of abandoned houses, several different ones, and when you're sleeping outside, you have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know the type of people that are going to walk up on you, if the cops are going to come, and what they're going to do depending on where you're at, if they're going to take you to jail for trespassing, and you got to worry about how are you going to bathe. That's probably one of the worst things I've ever had to deal with, is being homeless. How am I going to take a shower? How am I going to do my hair? What am I going to wear? Because as being homeless, you don't have money. Donald introduced me to a lot of homeless people. The homeless people that introduced me to the church under the bridge and Lifehouse. And as I got to know both church families and I got to see what other people were going through as well, I decided that my recovery is important. Well, when I really accepted God, which was honestly, my acceptance date was 6/18 of 2014, not that long, but hey. And how I realized was, when Jeremiah passed away, I was told I could never have another child. And May 3rd, I found out May 11th that I was having a baby. I know that times get rough and people give up, and I have too given up. I've attempted suicide and it's never worked, but if you put your faith in the Lord and really give Him your all and show Him, He really does save lives, because He saved my life.